Hello, welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Foxy by Proxy, and with me today is none other than my good friend Fox in a Fix. Say hi, Fox.
Hey guys, it's me, and I thought it was gonna be a dull day.
No, it's a good day, and gee, I wonder why I've called you back. Could it be the title?
Well, one thing is for sure, there is not a single fox in this cartoon.
No, just the disguise, but we will get into that in a few moments' time. So, just a few bits of info to get on the way. So, as mentioned, this is Foxy by Proxy, released on the 1st of March 1952. It had a Blue Ribbon reissue sometime in the 1960s. It's the 643rd in the series, and it's directed by Friz Freleng. You can find this on the Looney Tunes Superstars Bugs Bunny DVD set, thankfully not cropped, because that set is notorious for cropping, and there is a HD version out there which hopefully will become available again soon. So, in case you haven't seen this one, I can't show you the full thing here due to copyright on YouTube, but all that happens is we have a fox hunt and Bugs Bunny just decides, you know what, I'm going to mess with one of these dogs who is incredibly dumb. And he's really dumb, which we'll certainly get into as well.
He'll catch on any minute now.
Hey, you know something? That was the fox all the time.
Now, just one bit of trivia that I noticed in this one, and that this is actually a remake of sorts of the short of Fox and Hounds that was directed by Tex Avery, and that featured a Bugs Bunny type of character, but was basically a fox. And this short even reuses the opening from Of Fox and Hounds, and also reuses the famous log spinning gag, and that was in the short All This Rabbit Stew and in The Big Snooze. And this time around, it's Stan Freberg that does the voice of the dumb dog, and it kind of sounds like Junior Bear, doesn't he?
He sounds like a very slight variation on his Junior Bear voice, but it's very obviously Stan Freberg.
Yeah, but it's a great voice. I still like it, though.
Hey, fellas, I got the fox! I got the fox! Come on, I got the fox!
What's up, Doc?
Yeah,
Dumb
well,
dog.
the thing is, on the internet, some say this dog is called Willoughby because Tex Avery used a dog called Willoughby. But I think this is just another Lenny character inspired by Of Mice and Men. Very
Yeah,
obviously, also.
and I was watching this short. I hadn't seen it for a while, and because I saw it once on that DVD set I mentioned, but I gotta say, look, I do like this one. It's not a standout, but there is a lot to like as far as I'm concerned. I'll start off by saying that I just love the whole cheap and ridiculous look of that dog pile. You know, when the
You
dogs are
do?
all... Yeah, it's so bad, but it works. I don't know why. I'm guessing you didn't like it, huh?
Well, it's the animation of all the foxhounds moving like a chaotic pile of darkness, and it seems very Freelingish economic to me. But I don't particularly like it. But it does look very funny and nonsensical when you play it slow.
Yeah, whoever animated that, you gotta think what goes through their head when they're trying to animate something like that and actually make it work, because drawing by drawing, it doesn't look like it'll work, but then when it's in full motion, it's just, yeah.
Yeah,
And you
but
are correct. It's the
it,
freeing economics. I do agree with that.
yeah, it does look cheap to me because it's just a cycle of a very few frames.
Yeah. I agree, but I don't know, I still like it, ridiculous as it is, but of course, the main focus and the main bits of animation really are Bugs and this, well, dumb dog. I just love the fact that in this short, really what starts off is that Bugs just sees this dumb dog and he just decides, you know what, I'm bored. I'm going to mess with this dog.
Yeah, so that's the anti-Jones Bugs Bunny version, who doesn't need to be provoked before he just starts screwing with someone he doesn't like or something. He just feels like having a fun day with this character.
And of course, I think he probably just doesn't like the idea of a fox hunt in general anyway. But yeah, it's just funny. I'm bored. I wasn't going to do anything anyway. So yeah, this dog's so dumb, I'm going to just mess with him. Now, I know you were criticizing the dog pile animation, but you gotta love the animation, though, of just this dog and how Bugs is dressed up as this fox, and this dog is so stupid that he listens to this fox head and is always focusing on the fox head no matter where it is.
Yeah, so the costume is actually pretty funny. It does look totally ridiculous as well as the dog. Yeah, the animation isn't really bad, It does look a bit colorless to me, even when watching the HD version for some reason. But I do really like the first scene, which is from another cartoon, but those background paintings, I think by John Didrik Johnson, those are beautiful. But the rest of the short, it looks fine.
I think, as you mentioned, the whole economics thing looks like, yeah, it was just a case of trying to get this one, I guess, out the door, maybe to meet a quota. So, how do we do this as cheaply as possible? Well, we leave two moments, one from Fox and Hounds, and the other, let's lift the log gag from the other two shorts from beforehand.
Yeah, but that log gag is getting a bit tiresome at this point. I
Yeah,
doubt this is an homage to an earlier short. It's more or less starting to look like a remake of Fox and Hounds at that point. And also, First Feeling is using the log gag another time later on in another short.
yeah. But then again, people don't binge watch these things like we do today.
No,
But
it's
but back then, it's more haha, it's a log gag, and chances are, whoever watched it, even in the latest shorts that use it, wouldn't know anything about it, of course.
yeah,
But
but when I watched this for the first time, I had watched all the other shorts with the log gag, which didn't help. When I saw this on the Superstars DVD, I thought this short was an unmemorable dud. It doesn't help that I'm also not a fan of Avery's of Fox and Hounds.
oh yeah, for sure. And I wish that one gets restored at some point because that's going to look amazing once properly restored, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very rare for me to not like an Avery short, but that's one of a few.
But I will say, this short may not be memorable, but it does have one line that I think is memorable, and I'm going to start using it from now on. And that's when Bug says,
I've seen better heads on a glass of root beer.
great
I'm not
line.
sure I caught that before, but that's a great line.
My favorite scene of this short has to be where the dog sees fox tracks, so he's following fox tracks, yeah, and then he's, oh look, train tracks, and I love the logic that he's following the train tracks. He must be catching a train, so I love that logic. But then, why would there be a train on these tracks if the tracks only just started before? I just love that. It's so nonsensical. It's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah, at first I thought there was gonna be a repeated gag as well, the predator going into these train tracks and then getting hit by a train, but the twist was fun enough that Bugs was saying like, "You must be after a train," so I didn't see that coming. So it's not quite at all repeated. It was giving a funny twist.
Now then, if you're following train tracks, you must be trying to catch a train, right?
Yeah, that makes good sense.
I do like that this short does something we don't see as often, and we definitely will see less and less of, is that Bugs actually loses, and loses twice in this one. And the first time is when he's trying to lose the scent of those dogs. He does all this elaborate stuff. He's swinging on a rope, and he's going through the water and everything, and does all that stuff, and for nothing. The dogs are still there.
Yeah, I
So
don't think he's the hero in this one.
no, and even the ending, the dumb dog ends up winning.
Well,
Yeah,
sort of. It still gets caught off, but it's the one thing I do really like from this short because Bugs actually has to be careful in this short. He hardly gets away from the pile of dogs a few times, and I wouldn't even say he wins in the end. I think that's clever story wise to keep it interesting and suspenseful. We all know Freeling didn't like pitting a bullying Bugs against a toddler like Elmer Fudd. Maybe this was his way to give it a twist.
yeah, definitely. And now my good friend John is going to give his thoughts on this short, so take it away, John.
It's me again, John, and today I want to give my quick thoughts on Foxy by Proxy, a Bugs Bunny cartoon that I think is a little bit underrated. And the first thing I'd like to mention about this short is the animation. It looks very good, like most Freeze shorts of the 1950s, but this time Freeze's designs are beginning to slowly become more limited. This is seen first on the Sylvester and Tweeties, I noticed, and now we slowly see Bugs also transitioning. Now you can see Bugs' design is much different, for example, to the 40s design of Bugs that Freeling had. Another thing I like about the cartoon is the main dog, and I really like when he's featured on the scene, especially when Bugs is disguised as a fox and is interacting with the dog. I really like those interactions, pretty funny. But in terms of cartoons themed to fox hunting, I like Foxy by Proxy. I consider Tex Saber Outfoxed with Droopy to be a little bit superior. Plus, it's a cartoon that I think also about when Foxy by Proxy is brought on. They are both very similar about dogs chasing a fox and the fox outsmarting the dogs in different ways. If you look closely to Outfoxed, you notice that the fox in that short outsmarts his enemies, like in a Bugs Bunny way, but different. Another part of Foxy by Proxy that I really like is the ending. And the ending sequence, Bugs uses a log to throw the dogs off a cliff, minus the big dog who manages to cut his tail. And Bugs Bunny now doesn't have a tail because the big dog was determined to get a foxtail, and because he still thinks Bugs is a fox, he gets the Bugs's tail at the end. Maybe you can count that this is one of those times where Bugs has been defeated or beaten by the rebel. I don't know. I will leave to criteria. But honestly, I think this is one of the more underrated Bugs shorts of the 50s. I'm very glad that it got restored and a proper home media release. And I'll give this cartoon an 8 out of 10. It's one of those underrated Bugs Bunny shorts that maybe I recommend you to watch it. It might not be one of the best ones, but I personally really like this cartoon. And that's all the things that I have to say, and I'll see you in the next review.
Anything else you want to mention in this review, Fox?
I feel betrayed. There were no foxes in this one, so I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Oh no! Yeah. Look, I'll give it more. I don't know, maybe a 7. I'm being generous today, only because that stupid train game made me laugh, and also I love the delivery by Stan Freberg, and also just the animation, how he's just so focused on this fox's head. Like the fox head doesn't even talk. Like Bugs is talking, the fox head is there, and even drops the fox head and he still talks to it. So it's got those moments that elevated from being mediocre to something that's at least a fun time, at least for a few minutes, I think. So
Yeah, so if it had been more ridiculous, I would have liked it more, but it has some very cheap, repeated stuff, and I don't think it looks too colorful, so that brings it a bit down, but it's not at all a bad one.
yeah. So definitely check it out if you can, and like I said, I hope the HD version becomes available once again at some point, whether on a
Oh,
streaming
well,
service. But
I must say, I think if you look on iTunes or Amazon, there's a lot of the HD versions on there that have been removed from HBO Max. Definitely look there.
yeah, definitely. But I still think though the best thing is if they all get released on Blu-ray. One can hope. Yeah.
Hoping.
Yeah, exactly. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
Those dogs might be able to get a fox's tail, but they'd never get a rabbit's tail. Huh? Well, okay. Just call me Stubby.